Hello everyone, your voice here and welcome to our channel Sansevieria 101. So for this episode, we're going to do a follow through with regards to the previous feature, which is Sansevieria Tau Tau, a hybrid that was bred by Pepito Mercado. So on this episode, we're going to feature another hybrid coming from him. However, this particular hybrid is a bit controversial as of the current, and the origin of this particular Sansevieria is actually coming from one of Pepito Mercado's friends, and I have to move back to show you the whole plant because it is a very large plant, very long leaves, and they form a very rosette leaf arrangement. So I had to step back for a bit to show you how the entire plant looks like, and later on we could compare with regards to size difference, the growth rate, and several factors that would differentiate it with the previous Sansevieria hybrid that is named Tau Tau by Pepito Mercado. So this one, like I mentioned, was not posted by Pepito Mercado himself. So it actually was found from one of his friends, Mancor, and then from Mancor it was Jefferson Patiag who was able to acquire it, and then from Jefferson, Ed was able to procure it from him, as well as Paul. So from people who purchased this particular hybrid from Paul and Ed, just keep in mind that the provenance of your plant is not coming from Jess, but it is coming from Jeff or Jefferson. So therefore, I don't think you can call it as what Jess is posting as Lingling, because with regards to Lingling, I'm not sure how to compare it because I don't have the plant coming from Jess. But Jess claims that newspaper is just the same as Lingling, but as for myself, I don't have a sample coming from Jeff of what he calls Lingling, so therefore I cannot say anything about what really Lingling is. But what I can tell you is that the one that came from Mancor and the one that was acquired by Jeff first came out than the visit of Pepito Mercado's brother, which is Jose Maria Mercado, and then Jess acquiring something like it from Jose Maria Mercado and name it as Lingling. So before that, Jefferson was already able to acquire this specimen. So I'm not sure if what Jess has received from Jose Maria is the same from what Jeff received from Mancor. Mancor is one of Pepito Mercado's friends, so I'm not sure if they're the same plant because I don't have a sample of Lingling, so I have no way of comparing and no way of giving a review with regards to Lingling. But what we have right now is what we got from Jefferson, and that is why we were planning on naming or christening this plant as Jefferson. Aside from that though, Lawrence was able to receive the same plant, and thus he gave it an alias. He called it newspaper because of the coloration of the leaf, which is this one. The back part of the leaf is actually newspaper like, or This one's dark actually, so it's variable. The one that um, Lawrence received might have a lighter coloration of the abaxial leaf, which is the one that I'm molding right now. It's a bit lighter. This one is lighter too, like a newsprint from a newspaper. So the coloration of the back part of the leaf is actually very similar to the coloration of a newsprint or newspaper. And there are some leaves that would also have that coloration as well. This one resembles the color of newspapers in comparison to what we have as Tao Tao that doesn't resemble the coloration of the newspapers. So I have not taken back Tao Tao to show you the difference between them, but the pattern between them is very similar. So I'm doing a side-by-side for you so that you would know how they would look like, and you can differentiate Tao Tao from newspaper, or what we plan to call as Jefferson. So however, there are some of our friends that would say that newspaper or Jefferson is just the same as Tao Tao, and that is exactly the reason why I have not put Tao Tao back in its place, and I have used it for discussion purposes. So from that alone, you would see that there's a difference. And here's one of the question that I would ask for everyone: will newspaper grow an offset that will look as such? The answer would be no, because as you can see, no offset coming from Jefferson or newspaper would look like this leaf coming from Tao Tao. So another question would be, would Tao Tao grow leaves similar as Jefferson or newspaper? So I have another clump here of Tao Tao, and I have one leaf that looks very similar to newspaper. And as you can see, I'll focus, and exactly it would look alike newspaper color as well, and the leaf height would kind of resemble newspaper, but this is not an ordinary offset. This is an etoliated offset because Tao Tao was placed in a very dark location. Therefore, one of the leaves grew longer, wherein on an average, Tao Tao's leaves would just grow to about 12 inches or just about 1 feet. So this is the extent of how Tao Tao would grow leaves. Same from this other clump or other pot. What I could do is perhaps in the future I could update you with regards to this leaf, because I'm planning to transfer this pot into a brighter area, and I would update you whether this leaf will grow as large as newspaper or Jefferson, because like betalace, turkey eye species have another form, which is the final form of maturity, wherein they will look very different from juvenile or semi-juvenile leaf or mid-mature leaves. There is a final form, and there are some of our friends that would say that Tao Tao is just the same as newspaper or Jefferson. So with regards to that argument, experience-wise, these two are same age. I have been growing them at the same time for a number of years, and the only time we're in Tao Tao etoliated or grew longer leaves is that when I placed them in a shady location. Uh, in comparison to Jefferson or the newspaper, it's now very famous with the name newspaper even outside of the Philippines, but that is an informal name, although we can still use it. By the way, it was Lawrence who christened it as newspaper, and actually it's a very good name for it, very good alias, and I don't have any problems using it. We can still call it newspaper, no problem, but formally though, Pepito's way of naming his hybrids is he would name it in honor with his friends or his family members. So with that in question, I don't have a sample from Jess. If indeed that this plant is the same as what he has been calling Lingling, then so be it. If it's different, then we should be calling it Jefferson, because this plant, with regards to provenance, if Jefferson haven't acquired it from Mancor, then we probably, as of today, we do not have newspaper or this specimen which I am showing you right now. So going back, like I mentioned, the argument is still not final, so there are still a lot of controversies, but in time we will know. One thing that I can do is I have to call a spade, and then I'll have to study them further. One of the things that I could do is I could keep on growing this clump, because this clump has exhibited properties which I am actually not expecting. So whether this new offset will grow very long leaves and will look the same as what we call as newspaper or Jefferson's find, then we have to cancel out everything, including newspapers, and call them Taos, because they're, if that's going to happen, then the mature form, which what we're calling as newspaper or Jefferson, is actually the final form of the Sansevieria hybrid known as Tao. Tao is a final hybrid. It is posted by Pepito Mercado in comparison to newspaper or Jefferson, which is a find from one of Pepito Mercado's friends. So by priority, Pepito himself posted Tao, and it was already existing back when he was alive. So if it's true that Tao and what we call as newspaper or newspaper is just a final form of Tao, then actually there is just Tao and there is no newspaper to begin with. So, but as of right now, that is on hold because there's something I can do about it. I could study this clump further, and then the other way for me is wait for Tao to bloom for me, wait for newspaper or Jefferson to bloom for me, and then we'll compare it from there. So that's the two methods that I can present perhaps in the future on this channel, because I have to cut everything down the middle, because there are friends of mine who would say that this is Lingling, friends of mine that's saying it's newspaper, Jefferson. There are also friends that are saying that Tao and Jefferson or newspaper is just one. So I'm calling it down the middle right now. I'm posting this as well, I'm posting the title as Jefferson because we found the plant from Jefferson, but in the future I may make corrections with regards to what I have posted or what I will upload as newspaper or Jefferson in the future, as well as Lingling. So I hope that clarifies, although nothing is set to stone as of right now. Maybe in the future we'll be able to really cement a final fact or solution to the problem of Tao Tao and Jefferson. But as of right now, I would say that the normal growth rate of Tao Tao is just this one, and this one, that one is abnormal as of the current, so we'll have to wait for this offset. In comparison to Jefferson or newspaper, having normal leaves that are growing more than 2 feet, and the only way that other people are getting smaller Jefferson or newspapers is that, again, they're trying to buy cheap plants, therefore they are buying out leaf propagations that will probably take years to grow. So I'm sorry to tell you, for those who are buying leaf propagations or very very small offsets of newspaper or Jefferson, it takes years for them to grow back to their matured form. So just like betalace, you pick out a leaf, you grow it from leaf, it will take years for you to see the original form again. So just that's just a piece of advice, but then you really can't stop people from searching or really hunting out cheaper plants for them to have for people to have them. So aside from those, before we wrap up, I'll have to check out more of the characteristics. So I have to measure out what I need from here, and I'll have to clip the camera so I can do so. Alright, so I think this is a good position, and then I'll have to use a measuring tape to measure the leaf length of the specimen. So I'm measuring it right now, and I'm ending up at 22 inches for that leaf. It's almost 2 feet. Then another sample, it's 21 inches, and I think another one from in here, that's also 21, and then this part right here, just have to drop it down, and the longest leaf that I can find is at 25.5 inches. So 25.5 inches is actually the average, or I'm sorry, 22 to 25 inches. So more than 2 feet is the average, or almost. There's one leaf that is more than 2 feet, so that is the average growth of the leaf length of newspaper or Jefferson in comparison to the average of Tao Tao, which is just 11.5 and almost 12 feet. So that is one difference. The average leaf growth, it's almost double for newspaper or Jefferson in comparison to Tao Tao, with the exception of this specimen, which has etoliated leaves, and it has been growing for years, etoliated, and it measures still short to what I have measured leaves coming from Jefferson or newspaper. The one that the etoliated leaf that I measured is actually just around 19 inches. So in terms of leaf growth, Jefferson or newspaper is really way ahead of Tao. So for me to experience wise, I would tell you that for me to for Tao to grow leaves as long as newspaper, should I wait another 5 years for that? Wherein these two have been growing for 5 years under my care, 5 to 6 years under my care. So should we wait for another 5 years to figure out if Tao would grow or grow an average leaf size of more than 2 feet? So that is one of the questions that you need to ask yourself if you're not convinced that Tao and Jefferson is different from each other. But like I said, I'm cutting the discussion right at the middle, as neutral as I can be. So I leave it up to you guys if you still think that Tao and Jefferson is the same. With regards to longitudinal lines, they have very similar longitudinal lines. Actually, I have a caliper here set it to 0. Measure one of the lines from them, and lines, although a bit thicker, it's 0.7 for newspaper, but there are actually longitudinal lines that I think is thinner as well. I think this one is about 0.3 to 0.5. So 0.3 to 0.5, and then for Tao it's actually the thickest that I can measure is 0.5 millimeters in comparison to newspaper, which is reaching to about like I mentioned before, it's 8 longitudinal lines is as thick as 8 millimeters to 0.5 millimeters. So it's varying for newspaper in comparison to Tao. Tao is really having very uniform longitudinal lines in comparison with newspaper or Jefferson. So aside from that, I think what we can do is check out the leaf surface. Leaf surface is flat. On the front part of the leaf, the back part is a little rough. Actually, for Kirky Eye hybrids, they're almost the same. So Tao is also the same, smooth on the front leaf, back leaf, a little rough. So aside from that, one other difference is that the longitudinal lines of newspaper or Jefferson is varying from 0.8 to 0.5 in comparison to Tao, which is just 0.5 uniformly. And then back part of the leaf, like I mentioned, this is why they have been calling it newspaper, because the back part of the leaf is actually lighter in comparison to the front part of the leaf, but not all the time, because this one is a bit dark on the back as well. For Tao, I don't know if it can flip a leaf, but that's how it would look like. Also, light in coloration, you can also see that there are longitudinal lines on the back part of the leaf, and it's very thin. although it's not the longitudinal lines are not reaching up to the upper part. For Jefferson, the longitudinal lines on them will reach up to the upper part of the leaf. It reaches up to the upper part of the leaf. So that's another difference between Sansevieria Jefferson or newspaper in comparison to Sansevieria Tao. So there are subtle differences that are distinct. Namely, the longitudinal lines of newspaper will reach up at the back part of the leaf will reach up to the top part, while on Tao the longitudinal lines will stay on the middle part only, because I have not seen Tao grow longitudinal lines up to the topmost portion of the leaf. So that's another observation that I can note down with regards to Jefferson and Tao. So I think I have discussed everything except for one last thing before we go, because I just needed for record. The leaf width would be 3.5 3.5. So leaf width of Jefferson, of Tao. Oh, sorry, of Jefferson and newspaper are almost uniformly at 3.5 inches, while the ones from Tao is actually almost also the same leaf width with newspaper or Jefferson. So I think we have managed to discuss everything. So folks, this is already taking much time, and it's a long discussion. I hope it didn't bore you. If there's anything that I have forgotten to discuss, please leave a comment below. And if you like what I have presented, please don't hesitate to like and subscribe to our channel. I hope you enjoyed watching. So I hope everyone has a great day. Thank you, and goodbye.